Hi, I'm Tasha with Pathways to Peace Counseling, and today we're going to talk about counseling games that you can play for free. So, I don't know about you, but counseling games are expensive, and I am always looking for free or inexpensive options that I can do with my kids. The first one that I have for you is called Inside Out Train of Thought. So, this is from Mrs. Kathy King, and it is a beautifully well made game that goes along with the original Inside Out characters. And I've been using this one for years. And the way I did it was I colored all the white spaces on the board different colors to correlate with the islands of personality. And whenever kids land on it, we can talk about those different islands of personality and they can come up with their own islands. So you can look at the colors on the board and maybe define it before you start playing the game. So instead of hockey, your kid might say video games, or it might be baseball, or whatever it is that is kind of their main hobby that they like to do. And then some of the islands of personality would remain the same because everybody's going to have a family personality island. And, you can just kind of go through and define it ahead of time. And then whenever you play the game, you could talk about those different topics as you land, but it also has cute little game cards that go along with it. But you can't beat free. And this is an amazing resource. So if you're following along on my blog, just click the link. If not, you can find this blog post at pathwaystopeacecounseling.com. And I have a search bar. You can type in games you can play for free, and this should pop right up for you. The next game is a free Uno. So if you're doing online telehealth, you can play this game for free. It's basically Uno. It's called Four Colors and it plays exactly like Uno. So, anyway, it's a great way to bring in Uno into your telehealth sessions. I like to do feelings Uno. So, when you land on red, you would tell a time you were angry. Green, you would tell a time that you are scared. Blue, you would tell a time that you were sad. And yellow is for happy. And so it's a great way to build that emotional vocabulary, process lots of emotions, lots of good stuff that can go into that. And I do the same thing with Feelings Candyland. I have a free printable for that. So if you enjoy playing Candyland with kids, make sure to pick up your free little cheat sheet that shows you how to play Feelings Candyland. And on that blog post, I go into a whole lot of detail about all the benefits of playing these games, and the same things would apply to doing Feelings Uno. The next one is also a Uno game. It's called Getting to Know You Uno. And so it's a card game companion. So this would be a printout that you could use with your hard copy Uno game where you're playing the card game, or you can bring this in and play it with that game above and do a change up your Uno game and play the online free version and have these card game companions that you would read. And so this one is whenever you play a different number, then you would have something different that you would talk about. And so there's a sheet for red, blue, green, and yellow. So each time a card's played, then you would find the question that would correlate with that particular card. The next one is online Jenga. So Jenga is just a classic. There's so many things that you can do with it. I have a little game review about how to use Jenga for cognitive behavioral therapy. And it's whenever you pull out a Jenga block, it's kind of like you're creating these worries, like what ifs. So if you're always questioning yourself and saying, what if things don't go my way? What if nobody likes me? What if I'm rejected? What if I get a bad grade? It's creating more and more instability. And eventually, we know the Jenga game falls apart. And emotionally, we fall apart whenever we let these what ifs take over our mind. So that's just a little one way that you can use Jenga. There's also tons of Jenga questions that you can download. So you could Google that and find lots of those. So there is not an online Candyland. I have scoured the internet, unless if it's come out in the last few days, there's not a online version of Candyland. So during the pandemic, I created my own copy of Candyland because I am not complete without Candyland in my life for counseling. And so it just has all of the questions built in it. So as you land on a red one, it will take you down to a red card that will say, tell about a time you were angry. Purple is a time you felt loved. Blue is a time you felt sad. So it's a great way to bring in all of those good things from Candyland. And it is a free download you can find at pathwaystopeacecounseling.com. Kindness bingo. So this one is great if you're really working on social skills and developing ways that kids can show kindness. I also like that it looks like the little candies that you get for Valentine's Day. And so it would be a great one to play in February of each year. This is great for kids that if you're doing groups, so anyway, you kind of need more than two people to make bingo work, but sometimes I have played it in individual sessions. It's just not nearly as exciting as it is whenever you have a whole group of kids. So the next one is highs and lows. So this is an emotions matching game, and my daughter did the artwork for this, and I think she did a fantastic job making these different characters. And there's 12 different characters. I also have a feelings chart made out of these characters, and it just shows different expressions. And so you can play a Go Fish game with this, or you can do a matching game. It would be best for younger kids because it's only 12 different characters, so it's not going to be all that challenging for older kids, but this is perfect for kids maybe ages 4 through 7-ish. But it also the characters themselves can create discussion, and the artwork on them is more anime style, so you can definitely use those characters for discussion with older kids as well. Next, we are going to talk about a free social emotional learning digital spinner. So this is more just to break the ice, have like little discussion questions. It could be used as a check-in at the beginning of your sessions. There's probably a lot of different ways that you could do it. You could do it in individual sessions, group sessions, but it's more of a getting to know you, would be great whenever you're establishing rapport early on in your counseling sessions with a kiddo. Next, we have Angry Birds Truth Bomb Game. So I love using Angry Birds, and I've been using it for years and years and years to teach self-talk and how to get rid of negative self-talk. And so the idea behind it is that the Angry Birds are positive self-talk statements and the pigs are negative self-talk statements. And so if you have a negative self-talk statement that's going on in your mind, you want to come up with a truth bomb because a lot of times it's not true or it's not helpful and it's misconstrued in some way. And so even just tweaking a negative self-talk statement just a little bit can make a world of difference in how you feel about it. So this game is all about using those truth bombs to blow up negative self-talk statements. And so they build out towers, and then it has different cards that you can play that will have little prompts on them. It's a free download, but I love using Angry Birds Knock on Wood in my counseling room. And I love having the little sling and the Angry Birds that I can fling at the towers that have the pigs on them. I mean, it's just a fun, great game, but it is hard to find it these days. And so this has been my attempt to give an alternative, and it's a free one. So you can grab that at pathwaystopeacecounseling.com. Next, we have an anger management game. And so you'll need either playing cards or a beach ball for it, but it's just all the prompts that you would use to help kids work through anger management issues. Next, we have a Would You Rather digital spinner. And I love doing Would You Rather with my older ones. I find it's usually not quite as great with my littles, like 4 to 7-ish. I mean, I think it would be great 8 years and up. Teenagers love Would You Rather, has been my experience. Most of them do really well with those. And so this one you can play online because it's a digital one. So you can play it on your computer. So it's another great one that is helpful for all of my telehealth friends out there. And also, I have so many more game ideas. I created this list that you see down here on the bottom. It's a list of games that you can use for counseling and is organized by presenting problem. So if you open it up, you'll have like one page that's kind of like a site map. And if you click on anger, it will take you to a slide that shows all the different games that are in the whole Google Slides document for anger. And then whenever you click on those games, it will take you to an individual slide that will talk about details about that game, how it can be useful, and it will have a link for where you can find the game. So there's whew, close to 200 games or 200 slides anyway. So at least 150 games on this growing document, and I add to it all the time. So even if you've downloaded it in the past, you might refresh your copy and get a new one so that you can have all the new ones that have come out. And it's so what you do whenever you download it, you'll get a link for to make a copy on your Google Drive. And so you can always go back and just make a new copy of it anytime down the road. That way you can get the most up-to-date list that has all the goodies on it. So, and I am also going to be making more videos with different games that you can play in counseling as well. And these are my other blog posts that I have on it. So I've got games for anger, anxiety, grief, impulse control, coping skills, social skills, self-esteem, families, cognitive behavioral therapy, behavior problems, trauma, and teens. And I have more coming. So there's just tons and tons of games. So if you're looking for games, I'm your game lady, and I will hook you up with all the ideas that you could possibly need for counseling. And I always try to keep it affordable. So you're not going to find anything listed on my site that costs more than $20 because I think that counseling should be affordable for everybody. And I work hard to find you the resources that won't break the bank. Thank you for joining me today, and be sure to check back for more videos soon.